So we've talked a lot about swing, which is, you know, sort of a flow state, right?
Yeah.
And when you're in swing, I would imagine that you have less awareness than you might otherwise have of the boats around you, right?
Yeah.
So because you're internally focused.
Yeah.
So can you talk for a little? And I mean, here you are racing against other boats, but when you're fastest, you can't see them, which I think is interesting. Could you talk a little bit about that and how that kind of works into your techniques at Team Concepts?
Well, I think it's an advantage in one way, it's actually in most ways, because you're not distracted. And in almost any aspect of high performance, it's distraction that keeps you from getting where you need to go. And so high performance requires complete concentration on it. And so when you are in this flow state, you don't really care where the competition is. All you care about is maximizing what you're doing at that time.
Your own peak performance.
Your own peak performance. And there is a level of pleasure, and I'll use that term. It is maximizing what you're capable of being as a human at that moment, anytime you achieve that kind of flow state. And you'll do anything to stay there. It's a drug to a certain extent. It is, you know, there's such a release of endorphins in there. And you literally will pay whatever price it takes to stay there. And you don't care about the other boats. You know, the last 20 strokes of that race in '86, when we were reaching that state, and I was also reaching that state of pain, I didn't really care in the last 20, when we were at 45 strokes a minute, about the other boat. I didn't care to a certain extent whether we won or not. What I cared about was how the boat felt and whether I could reach what I'd always wanted to reach. Now, again, this sounds weird, but it was that state of complete and utter effort and what I was capable of doing. And so when we crossed the finish line, I was almost unconscious. And that's what I wanted, because I knew I couldn't do anything more than that. And that was it. I never got there again, by the way. But I proved that I could do it to myself. And we as a crew proved that we could do it. And that was, it just got better. So I think when you really try to go for peak performance as an internal drive, then you don't care about what's happening externally. And that is what we teach. And that is what we coach, is it's not about everybody else. It's about what goes on in your own experience as an individual and as a team. And if you can maximize that, then you'll go where you want to go, and you'll bring the organization where you want to go.